can hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
In China Lake, a ninja apparently attacked like 26 Army Special Ops members. Did you hear about that?
A ninja? Like a real throwing stars type ninja?
Sword. Well, he ain't have stars, but he had a sword, like a sword-wielding ninja, man. It says a man dressed up. So it was by China Lake. It wasn't in China Lake, but by China Lake. Mm-hmm. Ninja attack leaving special ops troops hunkered down at hangar sparks ridicule. It said a man dressed as a ninja and armed with a sword left 26 special op military members hunkered down in a hangar, wondering where help is. Records have revealed. Right? I don't know what's
special ops.
It's just, special ops guys, man. The violent attack, which is thought to have wounded at least one person, reportedly took place at Inyo Kern Airport in Kern County, California, just after midnight on September 18th. According to what appears to be a military incident report shared on social media. Man. I told California, man, it's a nice place, man. I think it'd be softening us up, man.
Yeah, man.
So some dude named Sourbucks, I guess he's kind of getting in a little bit of trouble for making light of the situation. It's a situation that is hard not to make light of, the predicament, you know. But it says that Staff Sergeant was sitting outside the administration building of the hangar at EU Kern Airfield smoking a cigarette when an unknown person wearing a full ninja garb, to include a katana sword, walked up on him. The person asked, "Do you know who I am?" Staff Sergeant said no. Then the person asked, "Do you know where my family is?" It's like a scene out of like a ninja revenge story. Staff Sergeant said no. And then it says, at this point, the person in ninja garb began to slash at Staff Sergeant, striking his phone and his knee and leg. Right?
Oh, man. This the guard? Oh, I'm finna take him out, man. He finna be a dead ninja, man. I'm telling you.
So Staff Sergeant, so you finna take him out?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna read what happened next. Staff Sergeant immediately began running through the parking lot and try to evade the unknown person. Jumped the fence and entered the admin building. Staff Sergeant and Captain began locking all the doors and calling 911. The ninja began kicking and punching doors and windows. They said the dude like threw a rock. Like some other article I read, they said the dude threw a rock through the window and everything. He got in there, I think. Unknown person left and returned a few minutes. Oh, here it goes. Unknown person left and returned a few minutes after with a large brick of asphalt, which he threw through the window, striking the captain. And then it just says the attacker leaving before apparently being arrested anywhere. So it looked like
he got away.
As yet unidentified attacker leaving before apparently being arrested anywhere. Man, I wouldn't want to live with that on my conscience that this guy could come back, man.
Hey, man, we wouldn't be talking about this if I'd been on that gate guard, man. We'll be talking about.
They were doing training. It's a 26 special op military members doing training at the airport, hunkered down in a hangar, wondering where help is.
Oh, so they didn't have no guard. So he wasn't a guard that was there. So he didn't have no weapon. Okay, I thought he had a weapon or something. Oh no, okay. I thought he was one of the guards or something. He came to the gate, you know what I mean, and did that. Okay, so he ain't had no weapon on him. Okay, but still,
so I guess that's the. What?
I don't know if I would.
You don't know if you would have what?
Man, I don't know. That's tough, man. But he's swinging that sword. I've been up out of that too, though. No doubt about that.
You and all your 26 teammates?
But now, when I got to the 26 teammates, we better do this dude now, though, man. Like, I know if I'm special up, I know we got some kind of weapons up in this thing to subdue this guy, man. Like, I'm special ops player. You know what I mean? And it's 26 of us, and we hunkered down. Come on, special ops. Holla at us, man. What was going on with that scenario, man? Can you guys talk to us, man? Somebody hit us up. Let us know. 26 special ops,
whenever
man.
I see shows like Extraction, I mean, movies like Extraction and movies like that, the special ops dudes, they grab anything in the environment and they start fighting with it, man.
Yeah,
I never think they need weapons,
twigs
man.
And shit outside. They don't need nothing, man. They can make it happen. But you know what? I take all that back. I think it, and I'm not the expert on this, but it's probably different type of type of special op guys. maybe those were the special op guys that bring the food or some shit. I don't know, man. Hey, you know what? I take that back. No disrespect to the special op guys. I don't want to get no shit started, man, with the special op guys, man. But
special ops coming.
Maybe they was the ones that maybe they was the ones that the intelligence side. You know what I mean? Going in, getting intelligence and stuff. Maybe they wasn't the ones that combat. You know what I mean? Put hands on people and shit. But I don't know.
I read a comment. Somebody made a comment that said they call anybody special ops at that command, whatever command it was. They said they call anybody special ops at that place. So who knows?
See there?
A couple
Make
people,
my point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple people, making comments about, what happened. Oh yeah, it says the 26 special op members couldn't fashion a slingshot and shoot that dork in the face with a rock, laughing out loud. So these guys was having a lot of fun with this topic.
Yeah.
But
big shots out of special ops, though. Big shots out of special ops, man.
Yeah. I don't, I'm not a ninja.
Yeah, man. Hey, don't mess with me, man.
They subdue me in like 3 seconds or something like that.
I ain't gonna try to stop you. Go ahead.
What you been up to this week?
Oh man, you know what? My week been okay, man. Had a couple of different things going on, but the positive things about what I had going on is this weekend today, actually, Mississippi plays Alabama today. And I feel like, and next week we can talk about this a little bit more, depending on how the game goes. But we play Alabama, and I think this year we actually got a chance to play a good game against Alabama. And, against a team, normally I'd be like, man, we ain't got a shot. We ain't got a chance. But I do believe we got a chance. And also today I'm going out, man. I'm doing some little car hunting today, man, and tomorrow. I sold my other vehicle, so I'm going to go out there and see what I can find. Something good on gas, man, because I got that hour drive every day, trying to find something like that. But yesterday, man, I want to tell you, I went golfing yesterday, man. Mm-hmm. And guess who I played golf with yesterday?
Who'd you play with?
Luke Webb.
Okay. How's he doing?
Man. So, he's doing good, man. He came down on leave, man, and he hit me up. And then, man, he came on up here and we played golf together, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a good deal, man. Good game. Caught up a little bit, man, out there. Golfing.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about him and having him on the podcast one of these days.
Yeah, man. Just you guys know, he was actually our third guy. We was going to have 3 people on the podcast, and he was actually going to be one of them, man. So one day we'll bring him on and ask him why he wasn't on it. We'll put him on the spot, man.
He probably going to ask us why he wasn't on it.
Hey.
We asked him why he wasn't on it. He probably going to be like, I don't know. Over to you.
Tell me.
Yeah, so it would have been 3 personalities on here. Luke is loud, right? Luke could get loud. Right, Luke loud. He got
any controversy. So he'll be a lot of good conversations with him.
Yeah, energetic. Got a real energetic attitude. That was that the second original plan or the first? I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Most
on
definitely
our
was the
anniversary
first.
episode,
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on our anniversary episode. But yeah, big shout out to Luke, man. Miss you, man. Hit me up. What else? Anything else?
No, man. Other than that, man, good week. You know what I'm saying? No big things going on, man. This is my plans for the week, man. Work is work now, man. I don't even talk about it no more. I just go on ships, man, and inspect them and come home, man. That's about it.
People from the job listening, man. You can't say too much.
Yeah, man. They own me now, man. You know what I'm saying? They own me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Big shots
to TMIT, man. Big shots out, man. Y'all keep listening, man. Keep supporting your boy, man.
Look, my supervisor be listening. He said he waiting to hear me say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work for the civilian. I told him that'll never happen. You know what I'm saying? That'll never happen. I know we got some people tuned in that's waiting to hear something crazy. I look at the geographics where people listening from. I know where y'all live. I know what y'all waiting to hear.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen, player. Give it up.
I'm gonna talk about some stuff, but today I'm gonna talk about something that happened like a little bit later to me.
Yeah,
that's a little direct, but not too bad. So this week the podcast we've done well. We closed out our best month since we launched the podcast. which is exciting. It mean that we building. So what happened was we initially launched. This more stuff we're gonna dig real deep into on the anniversary episode. But we initially launched, and it was crazy, like way bigger launch than I expected it to be. And then life happened, deployment, miscarriages, a lot of reasons why we couldn't record. So, of course, the viewership, the subscribers and everything didn't really go down, but they didn't keep increasing. You know what I'm saying? And then some of the downloads did go down. But now we in the biggest month that we had. Last week was a very big week, big episode. So I appreciate all the listeners. Just keep listening, keep reviewing, keep sharing, keep commenting, keep engaging on our social media and everything like that.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Hit that share button, man. I know a lot of people be out there reviewing and looking at us, man. Share it too, man. Hit that share button for us, man.
Yeah, that share is super essential, yo. We get people DM us. One of my boys, Raji, what up, man? He DMs me all the time. Like, hey, man, I could have made a comment on the page, but I'm DMing you, man. What's up? I'm like, yo,
put it on the page. I want to hear it too. I want to hear it too, man. Hit us up, man. Put it on the page. That goes for everybody though, man. If you thinking it, put it on there. You know what I mean?
Put it on the page.
Most definitely, I like to hear people's opinions about situations and about things they done in their career. So most definitely put it on the page. I don't even care what it is. I don't care if it's off topic. It don't matter. Put it on the page.
Yeah. So I saw a surprise map this week. There was a second class, a RP2. So there's a lot of RPs where I work, near where I work. Yeah. So the RP1 came around. He had been mapped already. He was with her. They had a Force Master Chief. They had the captain they worked for. He was a chaplain. And they brought her. They brought her over with the RP1. And it looked like he was about to get another award. So my chief of staff, he came out. No, the admiral came out and commented, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, we're not gonna give you another award, RP1. You got too many awards. You just got mapped. You got too much." He was like, "So we gonna give an award to RP2." And then he brought her up. She didn't even know she was getting an award. He brought her up and he was asking her about what she did over there and I work for region, so he take care of the whole region. Mm-hmm. And he was like, so you doing the job of a senior chief, huh? She's like, well, at least a chief. He's like, well, what kind of award do you think deserves? Well, she couldn't say. She sounded so humble, man. It was cool. Yeah. But he's like, what kind of award do you think you deserve for doing that much work? But she was like, I don't know. So, he was like, I tell you what, you deserve to be a first class petty officer. So we mapping you the first. She was crying, yo. She was super excited, crying.
That was a big deal right there.
Yeah, man, it made my heart warm.
I tell you what, man, big shouts out to the admiral, man. That's the way to do it right there, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Admiral, that admiral is really cool, man.
Yeah, he played along with it well, man. So that's good, man.
Yeah. It was real cool, man. It warmed my heart. It made me love.
And big shout to the chain of command for keeping down the raps, man. You got people now that damn near know they get mapped before they even, or they got an idea or somebody told them or whatever. So it's good to see the story played out like that, man. Like they don't have a clue. They everybody caught, So that's a good story, man.
What made it even cooler is that she was TAD. She's TAD. She working for another command. So the other command gave up a map quota at their command and gave it to our command so that we could map this seller. That's how. Big shout out to her as well. She been putting in a whole lot of work and she deserved it. So I mean, I remember I met her once, twice, and just me meeting her that day, she was sharp. So she deserved it. She's also right now. She was a seller of the quarter as well. So shout out to her. She deserves it. I've been boxing as well.
Yeah, we heard about that last episode. I'm sure you didn't graduate now to another level, or what's going on? I know you was boxing, man.
Yeah, but I'm learning a lot about myself while I'm in here training.
Some discipline, it's like discipline stuff.
No, I'm not. No, I'm disciplined, man. I'm disciplined, man.
Go ahead, man. Okay, man. Go ahead.
You know what I'm learning, man? I'm learning about how to be. My cheeks look real shiny, right? If you listening to us, you can't see this, right? So there's a couple things that's happening if you listen to us and you're not watching us on YouTube. My cheeks look shiny right now, right? And it's pretty cool, I think. Also, I have a navy ball cap on, and I'm gonna get into why I got a Navy ball cap on in a minute. Damon got a Mississippi ball cap on, super fresh. I think he just bought it.
Yeah, man. Fresh
for the game.
For the game.
Man. God forbid you bought a hat and your team lose. Man.
Oh man, don't talk like that, man. Don't talk like that.
So, boxing. So I've been boxing, training with my boy. He was actually in the Navy. He's out. He doing big things, right? Kaya Joyner. Look for him if y'all want some training. But I've been boxing with him, and I learned the way my mind works is super analytical, right? And I always knew that, right? My mind, I think about everything, every movement, everything I do, I think about it, right? And those thoughts happen real fast. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right? With the boxing thing, it's bad, right? Other times when it's bad is when I like overanalyze things that I probably shouldn't, right? Like different things, and then somebody's like, "Nah, I was in the bathroom." You know what I'm saying? But and the boxing thing is bad because it's your body should move. You know, he was like, that's why they call it, the sweet science. So as I'm boxing, and this just to throw like an uppercut. Every time I watch him throw an uppercut, it's like his whole body's like in motion. You know what I mean? Like, and it looks so smooth. And then I throw mine right at him, and it's like my legs still, my waist is good. I'm just moving my arm, and it's like he's like, "No, man, look, like do it like this, boom, do it like this, boom, right?" And he does it, and then I come right after him. He's like, "All right, you do it like," and he be like, "No, like just do it like." But that happens a lot, so I'm learning a lot about it. I'm learning about myself, learning about the way that I think, and just realizing like, all right, let it go, let it all go, let it flow. And that's hard for me, but I'm learning it. Outside of that, it's been pretty good. Learning, I'm going twice a week, so I'm learning at a faster pace. I can't say I'm great or good. I'm still positioning my body, still figuring my legs out. I got these bad knees, man.
Yeah, them knees,
bad
rough,
knees.
man. Yeah, man.
Knees.
You know what? You bring that about the motion and stuff, man. And that brings me to think about like golf, man. And I be out there playing, not the same sport or anything like that, but when it's a guy that could be 5 foot, like I can see kids out there 5 foot, 120 pounds, and they can hit the ball further than me. The swing is not even close to being hard as the way I swing, but it's all about the impact, all about flexibility, all about hitting on the sweet spot. All that stuff plays a part. You know what I mean? On how you moving and how you driving through the ball, man. So I can understand how your whole body need to be like into that punch and all that type of stuff, man. So
because your strength come from your legs and not your arms. He's like, yo, your arms, my arms, like, man, I feel like my arms are going for, because I've been working out in the gym too. Yeah. So he was like, yo, man, you gonna lose a whole lot of like energy in your arms, and they gonna get tired if you don't use your legs. Use your legs. So I'm learning. I'm not gonna stop. I'm getting better. Because when that ninja approached me in the airport,
give me that 2-piece, man.
I'm ready for him. Yeah,
that 2-piece and that biscuit, man. Give that 2-piece of biscuit. Put him to bed, man.
Katana to slice the biscuit,
yeah,
baby.
Man. Put him to bed, man. Rock him to sleep.
So I got this hat on today because the results should be out. The chief results, right?
Yeah.
The results should be out today. So if you listen to the podcast, those results should be out. And if you made chief, congratulations if you made it. If you didn't make it, keep up the good work. Keep plugging. I mean, I know y'all hear that all the time. You probably hate that, but keep plugging. And I'm again, like I said before, I always think that your time is your time.
Yeah. My big same thing, man. Keep grinding. If you don't make it, congratulations to the people who do make it, man. But guess what? One thing we know about this thing, it's a percentage on it. Everybody that took that exam is not going to make it. Some people are going to be disappointed when those results come out. But it's how you take it. And I was always told, 24 hours, man. You know what I mean? 24 hours, move, push on. But I think the whole key to this, man, and I know a lot of people so upset and don't do it or don't want to do it. But for those commands that do go out their way to have those CDBs for the people who do not make it, it's a big deal, right? It's a big deal to try to explain to them, to try to look at their record, to try to help those sailors out, because it is daunting, or it is like they are really hurt by this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is,
hard.
they are
It's
really
hard.
hurt. So when they sit down, they talk to leadership about this, man. It also says to them, somebody cares about their career. You know, somebody pulling me to the side individually and talking to me about my career, I think that means something. So listen to it, hear it, voice your opinion, voice what you think or whatever, and then it's time to move on, man. It's time to get back on the horse again and get it done.
Yeah. And you know, Master Chief Tower, it took her a long time to, you know, make chief. She didn't make it like in 8 years, something like that. So it took her a while, and look at her now. Command, so use people as inspiration. Yeah. Use people as inspiration, man. Especially if it's your first time. I know how I felt when I ain't make it on my first time. We talked about it on a podcast, so I'm not gonna talk about it again. But I know how I felt when I ain't make it on my first time. And after that, I focused on my sellers. I kept my head low and just focused on my sellers. I wasn't trying to fill wickets. I wasn't trying to do this, do that. This is how I'm going to make chief. I was like, yo, I'm going to just focus. It was kind of like a fuck it, you know, mentality as far as making chief. It was like, yo, I'm going to focus on my sellers, and I'm going to be the best seller that, you know, I've been. I'm not going to just worry about why I didn't make chief, because, I mean, you could lose hair doing that.
Yeah, most definitely can, man. Just do your job, man. Most of the time you do your job, and as you rank that job, also talks about taking care of sailors. So take care of your sailors, know your job, be very knowledgeable of your job, so you can share that knowledge, and that sharing that knowledge will pay off in the long run for you and your sailors. So keep grinding, man. You'll get there. If you got the mentality, you know you putting in the work, you will get there.
Have you gotten any briefs about the season this year from forces or anything like that?
Yeah, so our force game talked to us already. He was in there with us. We every week we have a meeting. So every week, and then the week before he came in and he talked to us about all type of stories and stuff. I don't even want to talk about some of the stories he was talking about back in his day, but he was talking about some of the stories and giving us kind of a little bit of direction, you know, a little bit of that. And then we just went over our whole brief on how we're going to execute it, you know, from start to finish. And last week, we just talked to the calls about it, you know what I mean? So now, and that's the chief of staff. So now we good to go, man. We ready to rock and roll. I'm assuming you guys are too.
Yeah, but season's changing a lot, man. It's different. It's not going to be the same. It's changing a lot.
And you know what's crazy, man? We talk about it, how it's changing already. And I'm here to tell you, man, like I've been in the mess like 10 years, man. And it seems like it's been so much change from the time I came in until now. I'm talking about, man, like crazy changes, man. Like you really have to go the extra mile to make sure that the training is successful now. You know what I mean? To make sure you're making a point in doing your training. We used to have things you could do in the train. If you do this, it made the point for you that you're trying to make. You know what I mean? But now you really gotta dig deep to make that point a little bit more now than you used to. So, but I think it's all. But some of the stuff that changes is good though. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying all negative and all bad. Some of the changes I do think was good. So,
yeah, and I keep hearing this. COVID has a vote. You know, this year on everything, events and stuff like that. So, season is changing. If you're going through your season, take advantage of that time. Learn as much as you could learn. Cling to your sponsors, everything you got going on. If you're going through that season, you got any advice for any newly selected chief petty officers?
Yeah, man, I got one thing, and I know I always say this every year. You got selected for a reason. Don't forget why you got selected. Right? You got selected. You was probably leading people. You was probably good at doing your job. You know, don't forget all that stuff. You know what I mean? In 6 weeks. Don't forget all that stuff. Once your name is called, don't forget what got you to this point.
Yeah. Have fun. And that's for the Chiefs and the Chief Selects. Have fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's have a really good season, man. Don't let COVID mess up our season. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a good season. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I can't wait. I'm pumped.
Yeah. Couple other things I noticed. Right now, it's the 2021 Health of the Force survey going on. Right?
Yep.
So the 2021 Health of the Force survey is going on. And that's just giving sellers the opportunity to, like, you know, state the things that, you know, they think about the service, the Navy in particular. Maybe some things they want to see change. I heard it's a block at the very end if you want to talk about beards. You got to wait till the very end and bring up that you want beards. And I saw that on My Navy HR, but the link for the survey will be in the notes of the podcast. So if you listen on Apple or Spotify, or if you watch on YouTube, just go to the notes, the episode notes, and you'll see the link for that Health for the Force survey.
Most definitely. Keep pushing us beard, man. Maybe one day I can have my beard on there, beard growed out before I retire, man. It might be a little spotty, but you know what I mean? It might be a little spotty, man. But you know, I shall grow it though.
So if they open up beards, you gonna get one?
Oh man, this thing gonna be it's probably gonna grow that much, man. But it's gonna oh yeah. I'm growing it, man. I'm growing that bad boy, man. The beard, the hair, everything, man. I'm letting it go.
Nah, the hair. I'm bald. I can't.
Well, yeah, don't worry about that. Don't you worry. You gonna have one of those.
Me.
You gonna have one of those. That picture you saw, man, with Shaq, man, with the little.
With the burn? Nah,
burn.
Can't do that, man. And then also on My Navy HR, they sharing a selection board video. We put it on a Facebook page to PTSF Podcast. So if you're not following us on PTSF Podcast on Facebook, go just search PTSF Podcast and follow us on Facebook. That's the same for Instagram, TikTok, every social media outlet we're on there. But check it out. It's a selection board video. It's going over the selection board process. And just how it's a really quick video overview of how it goes down. You know, I think it's like about 5 minutes or 6 minutes, not long at all. It's just an overview about how it goes down to give you some more understanding. And then the My Navy HR, the videos, they getting better, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. They are putting out way more info, you know what I mean, now. So I have to give them some love too, man. Like, I'm really like, I probably like don't be on back when they had NPC, back in all that, when it was all like that. Now I feel like I'm always on on Navy HR looking at something, you know what I mean, what they got going on, what's this, what's that. And mostly because I'm trying to stay updated too, though. You know what I mean? Mostly,
my Navy,
but it's a good tool, man. I like it.
My Navy HR is legit. It's super legit. It's they doing a lot of stuff, and it's modern. It's like, you know, it's for the, you know, the modern sellers, for young people. It looks like something we want to watch. It's not the same kind of Sesame Street style movies. I know you remember them Sesame Street type.
Most definitely.
Like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, I agree, man.
But
I'm still having the issues with going through all that stuff, though, man. I was so used to the NPC and all that stuff. Now, man, it's like I gotta, you know, figure that shit out.
Oh, the drop down menu.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Thing with the other drop down menu, 21st century. Yeah, it's cool. You'll figure it out, man. Like I said, man, that 30, 35, 45 and up crowd, man, it takes a while for you guys, but you know, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, sooner or later. Sooner or later.
Hey, Damon is not 45. His audience, his core audience, is 45 and up, man. The sunglass guys, man. That's the name of your. That's the name of your. That's the name of your audience.
Big shots out to the sunglass guys, man. Big shots out, man. Shit, I'll let you, boy.
Hey, but it's that time. It's about that time, man, to do what we love most. One of the things we love most, and that's reading citation for one of our personal heroes, our fallen heroes.
All right, man. This one right here is a pretty special one I got today, man. He was a cook, a third class, and his name is Doris Miller, right? So I know everybody probably heard of this guy's name on a lot of movies, but I'm going to get right into the citation. For distinguished devotion to duty, extraordinary courage, and disregard for his own personal safety during the attack on the fleet in Pearl Harbor, territory of Hawaii, by Japanese forces on December 7, 1941. While at the side of his captain on the bridge, Miller, despite enemy strafing and bombing, and in the face of a serious fire, assisted in moving his captain, who has been mortally wounded, to a place of greater safety, and later manned and operated a machine gun directed at enemy Japanese attacking aircrafts until ordered to leave the bridge. So, already though, like again, this is a guy that put his life on the line for somebody else, right? That's the biggest take I take from this, man. Like, you know, he's your CO. Now it's like, hey, I'm going to save this guy's life. You know what I mean? I'm going to put my life in danger to do that. That's what he did, man. You cannot, that's the, like, somebody who has done that, man, in their life, in the heat of the moment, not really even thinking, just doing, is most definitely a hero. And I'm gonna say this, and he has the Navy. This is a Navy Cross, right? But also, this year, August the 25th, was the start of the construction of the new CVN 81 class aircraft carrier, named after Doris Miller. So nice. Right there, man, that's a big deal, man. Actually, the first, I think, is he the first non-president? No, actually, he's not non-president. But he's the first something. I had looked that up. He's the first something. I forgot. Yeah, I read about it earlier. But yeah, man, big deal. Doris Miller, man, ultimate sacrifice hero in everyone's eyes, man.
When was the first time you heard about like, when was the first time you were impacted by that story?
Actually, man, like I tell you, we had, I guess I was impacted from the story, right? So you look at the movies, right? You see him in it, then you think, oh man, that's the guy they be talking about. But what I really got impacted by it was in when we do the Black History Months, right? And his story came up a couple times when I have been part of Black History Month. So that's when it kind of felt it a little bit doing that, man. How about you?
So the movie was Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, Pearl Harbor.
So for me, I didn't watch that movie for a long time. I don't think I've ever watched the full movie. I heard it was like not good. I heard it was a bad movie, like, disgusting. But so I ain't watch it. I'll probably watch it one of these days. Hopefully somebody that listens could tell me that it's worth watching and I could watch it. But I stayed when I first got to my first command. I want to say when I got to my first command, we stayed in housing. We stayed in the barracks, and the name of my barracks was called Miller Hall in Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. So on the somewhere in the building, it tells you the whole namesake story. Yeah. And that was about Doris Miller. And I read it. And the moment I read it, so this without seeing no imagery, movies, none of that stuff. I just read the thing, and I'm like, damn, no, this dude was legit. Yeah. He was a CS. Yeah. And he manned up, guns in a time of war. Like he manned up guns and he started shooting at enemy, jets, enemy planes and stuff like that. So I like enemy planes. He started shooting at enemy planes. So automatically I was like, damn, he was a CS. And for me, like, I don't know why I think this, but for me, the CS is further away from like manning a gun than an EM would be. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Like than an electrician. Yeah. I honestly, I think the CS is like the furthest rate away from manning a weapon. And that's my thought. I know that they stand watches, armed watches, and and stuff like that. But when I'm first joining the Navy, my thought is like the cook on a ship is the furthest person away from ever thinking that they would have to, hold a gun, shoot a gun, or something like that. So for that to happen was just crazy. And I was inspired at that moment, and I'm like, man, if this dude could do this, then I know, when it's time to, for me to have to do something, I'm gonna have to step up. Oh, and definitely. Things like that is the reason why we read those citations. Yeah. And always, I can't keep talking about that every time we read a citation. Like, this is how we do it. But things like that is why we do it.
That's why we do it, though.
Yeah. Because it's a CS out there that, might not know. Like, hey, if it go down, I might have to, arm up. Or I might have to grab this gun and shoot.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for that.
Yeah. But I tell you this, man, that what I did, like, and I know we talk about, the citations all the time, but it's no doubt if shit hits the fan that every single sailor on board that aircraft would do the same thing. I really do think that, man. And I say that because hopefully we never be put in a position, to do anything like that. But I have confidence, man, that people will put their lives on the line, man. And I say that because we've been in fires, we've been in flooding, we've been in that stuff on board a ship. And I have seen people that I didn't even think that would be doing anything that'll get down there and help out when it's time is in the crunch, man. But it's different when I'm talking about a small leak, when I'm talking about a small trash can fire or whatever. We talking about bullets flying and things like that, man. So it's hard, man. But do I think, sailors will do it? Yes, I think that sailors will get down and do what they got to do. But
you think every single sailor on a ship would man a gun and shoot at enemy planes?
Well, let me backtrack that story a little bit. Let me back that. I ain't saying every sailor, because that's a huge deal right there with what Doris Miller did, man. And trust me, everybody's not doing no shit like that. I know that for a fact. But do I think I'm gonna say some sailors go over and beyond? Yes, I do think that, man. Because people out there are like that, man. People actually do care about other people and their safeties and things like that. But what these guys do, when we call them heroes, because they went over, and beyond of their duty, right? My duty is to protect the ship. So yes, if you got to fire someone on that ship, that's kind of my job. This guy is a CS. He's a cook. Yeah. His job ain't to go man nothing. He ain't going to man no gun, no weapon, no nothing. But if some jump off in the galley, you expect him to do something in the galley, right? Yeah. We talking about bringing his captain to safety, and we talking about shooting at the enemy, right? That's a whole different ball game. When I say I think people will do things on the ship, but do what Doris Miller did is a whole nother, ball game.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's legit. That's what elevates somebody to that level where people talking about you years and years and years and years later,
and get an aircraft carrier,
get ships, and you get buildings named after you. That's what elevates you to that level. Do you think that the percentage of sellers that will step up is higher than the percentage of sellers that won't step up?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. I don't know. I'm gonna say no right now, man. I think the percentage will not step up, man. And that's just how I feel about it. If anybody out there feel differently, please put it in the feed, man. Let us know.
I feel differently, actually. I actually feel differently. I think it's like 70-30. Yeah.
70-30 will?
Yeah. I think like 70% of the people going to do their job. If it ain't 70-30, it's 65, 45, 60, 40, something like that. But it's like 65, 40. That can't be right. 65, 35. But I had to correct myself. Somebody could be like 65, 45. But I think that it's a higher percentage of sellers that's plugged in, that's going to do their job when it's time to do your job. Hold on.
Now, I agree with the 70-30 when it comes to people doing their job. I'm doing their job, yes. I'm talking specifically
mad at the gun and shooting.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know about that, but doing their job, yes. I think most definitely it's a higher percentage of people doing their job. I do think that.
Yeah, somebody. I know you get these stories where it's like people ran to the mess decks when things got rough and stuff like that. I would hope not to be on a ship like that. What happens if you a junior sailor, you're in a division and you find out your chief, your divo, they ran to the mess decks when the going got rough? What can you do?
I don't know.
Well, like you still like when they talk about the Navy pride and the ethos and all that, like you still able to like respect that, listen to that?
Hey man, I tell you one thing, man, and I know this me personally, man, for my job, because my job is kind of for casualties and things like that. I don't know if I'll make it, man, on the ship if something really like popped off and happened, because I'm there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably ain't gonna make it, man, because I know I'm going straight. Whatever, I'm going straight to it. I'm going straight to it, man.
Where it's at.
Yeah. So
but what happens if a leader of yours though, you see that person run and hide, you know, and then y'all do survive, like then y'all at muster, maybe a couple months later, and they talk about leadership, they talk about Navy pride and shit. What's up? Like, man, what are you thinking, man?
You know what I'm doing, man? I'm gonna tell you, you need to transfer, man. You put your
I need to go to another division,
you gotta
man.
Go, like, you gotta transfer.
Can't work for you, man. That's what we in the military to do, man. We in the military for those moments, man. Like, yeah, we do our jobs. And I'm an electrician. You're a damage controlman, which is more in the fight already, being a damage controlman. But I'm an electrician. Like, but when it go down, I got my job to do, you know, and if it go down and I'm like staring at a leader that like ran to go hide, I can't look at you the same, man.
I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what
to do. I remember I had a Charlie Fire. We had a Charlie Fire at one of my commands, man. And like the person I work for, I wasn't in charge. The person I work for, they froze, man. They froze on a Charlie, man. A little bit of white smoke, seeping out of a controller, man. It happened to be a generator, but a small generator. They froze. I was like, yo, man. Get out the way.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, man. I had the CO, one of my COs, tell me this story before, man. Like when I was out for like a couple of months, man. I don't want to get into too many details. Somebody try to figure this out. But I was out, say, a couple months or whatever. And we had another guy that was, running the show while I was gone. And I guess they had a incident on board the ship. Uh-huh. And when he came down to, to get the report or whatever, he saw the guy in there that was doing my job. So when he got in there, first thing he got in the door, he asked him, it was if the casualty was going on. He asked him, he said, hey, what are you doing? Just think with this for a second. Where would senior leggings be like right now? And he asked him that, man. Like, where would senior leggings be at right now? And the guy was in CCS, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in there, I guess waiting and listening and stuff. And he asked, like, where was senior leggings?
That bird's eye view, man. Yeah. That's what CCS for.
Yeah, man.
Bird's eye view, baby.
Yeah. Should I go? Should I go or should I not go?
Go look. I got 6 screens. So, make sure we good.
Yeah.
No, we had an emergency underway on this on my first ship. We had an emergency underway, and me and my boy, actually my business partner, we were trained for like aft steering. So this was a long time ago. I was like EM3, EM2. We had an emergency underway, so we got to run down, aft steering, get the ship ready to go. It was a couple officers down there with us, and this not a knock on officers. It's not a knock on JOs at all. But in that moment, they froze, man. The captain got over to one of them seas, cursing. He's like, we got to get the fuck underway. We got to get out of here. The shit was like slapping on the pier. It was like the wind's crazy. And we left like a third of the crew on the shore. But when we got down to steering, man, the JOs that was down there with us at the time, man, they forgot how to dial into the net.
What the hell?
They forgot how to dial, man. I took that phone so fast, man. I said, hey, sir, I'm going to have to take that. I took the phone, I dialed into the net, we rogered up. Wasn't no deck seaman, no boatswain's mates down there. It's just me and EN. So we manned up everything, all the equipment, and we got ready. We got the ship underway. I was happy, man. I was
Let's
like, man.
go.
And then I was happy because it was just a third of the ship on board. Like, it was a lot of people. I think at the time, like, my LPO wasn't there. There's a lot of people that wasn't there. So it was like, you might stand more watch, but it was like so much freedom, man.
Yeah.
But things like that happen. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be
ready.
I've seen people freeze. I've seen people that you wouldn't expect to step up. So you got to be ready. A lot of people, I always see people from supply step up, actually.
Oh,
I'm going to give supply a little shout out.
Hey, you know what else, though? While we talk about stepping up, man, hey, if you guys got any good stories out there for somebody who froze or somebody who stepped up, you know what I mean? Send us some information, man. Let us talk about it, man. Because I know some people out there that done some great things out there, man. And I know some people out there that be like, what? What did he do? He did what?
Yeah.
So hit us up, man. Let us know what's up.
I try my best not to talk about the people that froze like too specific because like some of them might listen, and it's just a story. It's not nothing personal to you.
Yeah.
But I know if I froze, that would be lingering in the back of my head like every quarters I do for the rest of my career. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but hey, I want to know one more thing. So if you do think Damo is talking about you, holla at us, man. You know what I'm saying? Send a message to the show, man. Whatever you guys want to do, man. The name of the show is Permission to Speak Freely, man. You can come on here anytime, and if you don't think he's telling the story correctly, let us know, man. You know.
Yeah. And hey, speaking of that, right? Speaking of that, that's why I would love to have some neutral parties. I realize, like, because we talked to FCA1 last week, seller that worked with us and experienced a lot with us. And I hate when our conversations start to get to like
personal,
because we did good stuff. We did some good stuff. So I kind of like, it's like I want to hear, as messed up as it sounds, but I want to hear that seller that had some bad experiences and like went through some stuff, and they have a couple good people around to help them. And we had some good chiefs in our mess. So, and I know we were personally involved, so whenever it started, whenever the stories start to get like, hey, when I was going through this, you helped me. When I was going through this, you helped me. They good stories, but I like to be neutral. And I don't want to sound like a hero or somebody who did some, that's why a lot of times the stories I do tell on here, they like the times I fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of, but it's just something that I go through in my own head. Like, I just don't want to sound like the guy that like is always there or whatever like that.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I don't know how how you feel about.
Same way, man. Same way. I mean, most of the stories we had on here, like people who know us personally know how we get down. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd rather have some neutral parties too, man, that we could talk to it and find out, what's going on.
Yeah, get some
stuff,
some debate. Some debates going, stuff like that. Because, talking to the sellers that we actually dealt with, we were there in those times. Like, hey, when I didn't get mad, y'all were there. Like, so we were there. So I am looking forward to like, I think I got somebody lined up, and I think we're gonna have a real good podcast with him. But because he gonna get into some stuff, and he don't know us, personally. Nice, he don't really know us already that well. So. Yeah, and that's a good thing because they don't know us. Yeah. But that was a great episode, man, with FCA1. I listened back to it. I really appreciated having her and stuff like that. So I can't wait to talk to some more E6 and below sellers. I can't wait.
And then if no, I ain't gonna say that. I was about to say, man, if you guys heard the stories and then and want to add to something we was talking about, please do, man. Like, there's some good stories on there with FCA1. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of you guys out there remember it or saw it or have a story that's similar to it. Man, speak up, man. Like, I'm not gonna talk too much about the LPO thing no more, man. All the backlash I'm getting from the LPO thing, man. So I'm probably gonna stay away from that, man, for a little while. But you know what? I take that back. Every person come on gonna have to talk about this story. I'm gonna make sure
we're gonna wear them out, man. We're gonna wear our listeners out, man. They're gonna be like, man.
And I'm doing it because I know that I'm 75% right.
Another thing about our episode I noticed when I listen back to it is my prefixes, right? I say he, his, him a lot, right?
We both do. We both do.
Yeah, and if anybody's affected by that, first off, my first thing is to apologize, and my second thing is to try to do better, right? And nobody told me, like, this shit ain't coming from them. I ain't get no email, no message from somebody. This from myself. Like, I'm like, hey, in our scenarios, we got he, him, his, and all of that, not she, her, hers, and stuff like that. So I will myself try better. And you probably, listeners, nobody probably even noticed this shit. Yeah. But I noticed it. So I'll do better with my prefixes to make sure that I'm inclusive in the way that I'm talking and what I'm talking about.
And same for me, man. I do better also because I know I do it a lot now, but I do know from where I started, I am getting better, but I know I'm not quite there yet. Because like when I'm talking to sailors, I try my best to always say he or she. You know, anything I say. But I do know once I get the ramping on and going, you know, I most definitely won't slip up and say he or something like that. Or even say she and don't say he or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, like it just sometimes just flow in a conversation, you know, because not every LPO is a guy. Not every chief or captain is a guy. So they things that, you know, we got to kind of keep in mind. So it's PFA season, right?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty pumped up.
Yeah. Did you do it already?
No. I think we doing it the week before Thanksgiving or something like that.
I'm doing mine next week, man.
Good, man. Get that thing knocked out.
I'm probably going to do like a 20. The planks don't count, so I'll probably do like a 20-second plank, man.
Nah, I'm going to go ahead and do that 3-minute, man.
Planks don't count, man.
3 minutes.
I'm going to give them 20 seconds.
I remember when that message came out and said 3 minutes, man. I got right down there and held that thing.
Did it easy?
Minutes, man. I just got through it. I ain't got no issue.
Hey, so if you are listening and you planning on doing like a 20-second plank, don't do the best that you can. Do the best that you can because they're trying to baseline this thing and figure out what we actually can do, can't do. So those numbers might, you know, they might roll to 20 seconds. So don't go down there and just do the worst you could do just because you know it's not going to count against you this PFA. Do your best so we could kind of get a baseline with that. Because I found out they use like some of the like most fit people to do these things. Man. Like, to figure out what we could do. They use some of the most fit people. I feel like we should have done. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to get in here and do this survey myself, the health of the force survey, because I feel like we should have used like different people, like the most fit person, and then this category, to kind of even out what the baseline was already. Yeah. But I mean, somebody just snatched up whoever they could find real quick. Hey man, do a plank. Dude probably did it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, man. You know, you in shape. Hey, that plank hit differently at 45 seconds. I can tell you that right now. You got to dig deep at 45 seconds, man. You got to start digging.
Stomach under your shoulders start jumping and vibrating. Man. You already know what it's about.
Start jumping and shit,
start shaking. That's an embarrassing moment.
And you can't control it.
Look, the fact that your hands, so, you know, when I was quarantining, I started practicing the plank. And my hands, so if you watch it on YouTube, you can see my hands. But my hands were like this on a deck. And then I worked my way up to like the 3-minute plank. I actually was doing the 3-minute plank like that. And then somebody was like, yeah, you know, with the plank, your hands can't touch. It's a different plank. Yeah. The plank where your hands not touching is a different plank. Yeah. You know, so I was like, all right, let me try it. It shouldn't take that much off my plank. It took a whole lot off my plate.
Because you can kind of curl, when you put them hands together, you can kind of curl that body up a little bit and keep it real still. You know what I mean? But when you take the hand apart, it's like, it's a different ball game, man. Yeah, but you know what else? You know what else in this one? I don't know if you noticed it or not, though. You probably did, though. But the push-ups, your legs don't have to be together no more. Dude, that is a big deal, man. I'm telling you, because now your body is way more stable. Because the push-up, your legs are way in. Now you can stable. If you push your legs out, you can stable your body a little bit better, man, to knock those push-ups out. So read up on that, man. We were talking about it in the office, man, about your legs don't have to be together no more.
Well, my legs will not be together then. I haven't been practicing push-ups so much. I found out that my minimum is like 41 at my age. 41 push-ups at my age?
Yeah, push-ups ain't no big deal.
So I'm going to get the half of that and be hurting. I'm going to get the half of 41. I'm going to struggle.
Well, I don't know about this in a way, but I got to keep it on that excellent, you know what I mean? Because of that, you can skip that other one type deal, you know what I mean? So I got to keep it there.
Anybody ever make a deal? This to the listeners. Anybody ever make a deal with yourself? Like, hey, I'm gonna just get the excellent next time.
Hey, I tell you what.
If he's like, yo, like you try to act like it's because of the seasons. Yeah, I'm gonna do both of these PRTs because when I get my excellent, I want to take that December. PFA off.
Yeah,
nah, man, you just can't do it.
Can't do it, man. Hey, I ain't make no deals like that. But what I have done before is like normally I knock out 98. Used to do curl up sit ups. We used to do right. I used to do them 98, right? And that, but about 2-3 years ago, man, I got freaking to that 80 mark, man. I was like, man, I'm 40 years old now, man. Why I'm doing 98? I'm doing 98 freaking curl-ups, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't got to do 98 no more. So,
nah, they just, you can max, but it's cool. I'm the guy. I'm going to get my excellent next time. I'm going to do these two. I'm going to get my excellent. I saw a dude at the command, man. We was at some training. This dude said he lost like 13 pounds in like 6 days, right? He was talking to like an HF captain. She was like, what? She started giving him like nutrition. He's like, no, trust me, I'm good. They's like, what are you eating that night, man? No. I lost 13 pounds in like 6 days. Like, yo, don't do that. Like, when it start getting to that point, it's a problem, man. But with the new PFA, we got the new tracksuits, right?
Yeah, man.
New tracksuits. If you don't know, mandatory buy, the mandatory have option was 1 October. 1 October, so that would have been Friday.
Yeah. If
you listen to this podcast on Monday, that would have been Friday. So you need to have that tracksuit.
Yep. In your seat bag, the whole 9. Yeah, man. I've been had it since it came out though, man. I love that thing, man. Yeah. I love that. A lot of people don't know that. Didn't know. I saw people buy the other uniform thinking that they were getting the right uniform. So yeah. It's definitely the tracksuit that you need. I saw people getting that Forged by the Sea, the performance uniform, thinking that was the one that was mandatory by 1 October. It's not. It's that tracksuit, so you need to have it. It's not mandatory wear. It's an optional wear, but you definitely need to have it. Yeah, most definitely.
All right, so I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Do you need acknowledgement, like when you do things?
Do I need acknowledgement when I do things? No, I don't need acknowledgement like somebody telling me I'm doing a good job or something. I don't need that type of acknowledgement. But sometimes, like for what makes me feel good anyway is when a junior sailor or somebody comes say, "Hey, thank you, senior, for doing that." That type of acknowledgement or whatever you've done. I kind of like that because that tells me they know I'm trying to look out for them. You know what I mean? So they can look out for me and work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like do their job also. So other than that though, I don't need nobody coming up to me and say, "Hey, good job." I don't need that type of stuff, man. I don't personally. Maybe when I was younger coming in, it may have been a little bit different. Somebody give me a pat on the back, say, "Hey, you did a good job." Maybe that's somebody need to keep feeding me, to keep working hard. I got that, but as you start doing stuff for a while too, though, man, it's kind of like you're trying to hope your guys get that type of acknowledgement, not necessarily you.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you a little story that I had. Mm-hmm. We did a Wounded Warrior, and this is a direct story. So if you was on my last ship, you know about it. It's a direct story, so I'm gonna be a little bit direct here. But we did a Wounded Warrior run, right? Wounded Warrior Battalion run. We did 2 of them. I'm gonna talk about the first one first, right? So the first one we did, it was like MWR committee. We grouped up with the Marines, and they had a special connection with our ship, right? With Rafael Peralta. I think their battalion or something was named after him as well. So, they were named after his old team or something like that, right? But we did a run with these guys, and the CO at the time was like, that was something that he was all about. Like, he was super excited about the run. He was a fit guy too, so he was into running and doing some stuff like that. So we did the Wounded Warrior Battalion run, and it was successful. Were you there for that? Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you were there or not, but I know the team that I was on, we won. Like, we won the run. We did well. The news was there. They actually did a local news story on it. It was a great event. The Marines, like, everybody worked into it, like, really, really well. I know you were at the second one.
Oh, yeah. I was. Yeah.
I know you was at the second one. Yeah. But everything went off without a hitch. Great. Like, super structured, detailed event. Everything went off without a hitch. Good. Cool. The next year, we wanted to do one again, right? And the schedule, and always like sometime when it come to like events and stuff, I always look at captains like I wrote like down them like my notes. I always look at captains like Steve Jobs. Like a CEO might say like, hey, I need a way to get 100,000 songs inside your cell phone, and like it never happened ever before, and you like, okay, we gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And then you leave that captain and you go scramble, try to figure out how the fuck to do this thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna grab you. We gotta put 100,000 songs in this phone, and people like, how? He's like, oh, we gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? So I always think like that. Like sometimes, like, you know, they can have like really big ideas, and then they give them to like us, and like we got to figure out, you know, how to do these ideas, right? No, I mean, if I was a captain, I would be the same way. If I was in that position, I would have really big ideas as well. So there's no flack. But however, so this next year, we had to do this Wounded Warrior. We wanted to do another one, right? The second one, which was a little harder for us because the schedule was much different. Like the schedule was super different. We were like trying to squeeze it in between like two underways, some craziness with the schedule. I forgot the whole thing, but I know the scheduling was harder. All right, so that was the first thing. The second thing was the Marine Battalion that we did it with. They didn't want to do it that year. Like they had a scheduling issue too. So they had some problems in doing it as well that year. So to get them to do it was like a fight, you know, but it was a fight that, you know, we would never really tell the captain about how hard of a fight it was. You know, it's just like, hey, sir, we having like a hard time, you know, getting it, you know, and the captain would probably respond something like, all right, well, just, you know, just keep pushing and let me know if, you know, if it's all the way, you know, you can't do it or something like that. But you'd never telling the captain like, hey, sir, these guys don't want to fucking do it. Like they don't want to do it. Yeah. It's almost like we pulling their leg to do this shit. We begging them to do it. You never going to tell them that. You just going to, you know, the best answer you could provide your captain. You know what I'm saying? In the most professional kind of manner. Yeah. So we trying to put this thing together, talking to different people, different captains, different people. They got issues the day of, you know, we get there. They had issues like there, you know, there was something else going on. Like they had like a actual PFA thing that they do, actual PT test that they do. So it was bad. But, you know, I actually this year I had done so much coordinating back and forth that I kind of knew the Marine captain that, you know, I was talking to like a lot closer than the last year because we were dealing with each other so much. Yeah. You know, so we met, and, you know, he's like, you know, he's talking to us like on our side, the ship side, MWR, like, yo, this would not have happened without y'all, man. Y'all kept pushing. I'm glad this happened. Boom, boom. So our captain comes and, you know, the news wasn't there this year. It was different. Like it wasn't as big as the last year where it's like the news wasn't there. But the captain comes and seems to be visibly like disappointed because it wasn't like a lot of people there. Yeah. Like not a lot of people showed up. Yeah. And we kind of thought that with the scheduling and just the kind of like the health of our crew at the time, we didn't think that many people were going to show up no matter what we, you know, try to do. But it was pretty obvious. Like not a lot. It wasn't the same hit that it was the last year. Not as many teams. It wasn't as competitive as it was. The Marines wasn't out there as much. We had this real crazy problem with bugs. I can't remember that story. Man. But I don't think the captain knew about the bug story. But it's like, man, the MWR team, they pulled through. They got this thing done. They pushed. They worked real hard. They got it done. At the end of this event, the captain gets up, right? And he thanks. He thanked people for this event. And he thanks, I don't know if he remembers this, but I remember it. He thanked like everybody from the Marine thing, right? All of the people that like didn't want to do this event. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't want to do it. Like MWR pushed to have this event because we were serving like in service of like our CO. And this was a special thing for our CO. He thanked like every fucking person that was a Marine, like every one of them. And he say nothing about MWR. Like and that I can't lie, man. Like I'm gonna be honest, like that hurt. Like that one. Well,
let me say this though. Did it hurt because the work you guys put in and your team didn't get acknowledged? Not necessarily you didn't get acknowledged, but the team, because those guys was working, and you know he had to say personally you, but he had to say, okay, acknowledge my team because we put some work in, right?
Yeah, I ain't say me. I said the team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I said the team. Yeah. I didn't even say me. It was the team. Like it was like when I say I understand, I don't mean I agree with stuff, right? Yeah. So I understand that he had an issue with the amount of people that showed up. It should have been more, could have been more. So he was probably disappointed. I don't even know if he naturally realized that he didn't thank MWR, but he didn't. Like he thanked every entity except MWR. You know, I'm thinking, well, maybe like last but least. I think we even gave some like stuff to sellers. I know we had a re-enlistment that year. I think sellers might have got that seller of the quarter awards, stuff like that. Yeah. But I just know that like like he didn't thank. And if I'm wrong, if I'm forgetting, somebody please correct me. But I know that was a tough one. I'm like, yo, man, these guys put a whole lot of work in. And they probably, I don't even know if they knew 100% that the Marine Battalion didn't want to do it that year. Yeah. You know, no knock on them. They had a crazy schedule and stuff too, you know. So that one, I can't lie, man.
And like, normally that happens though. Normally CEO, that's part of his, you know, speeches, like saying, you know, I want to thank the MWR for putting this event together type of stuff. So yeah, man.
And I mean, and he got to thank them. But if you're a captain and you listening, man, don't forget, he has to thank the other people. You know, that's just a part of like hospitality, consideration stuff, right? You got to thank the other group of people. But if you're a captain and you're listening to this, don't forget about your team. You know what I'm saying? They put in work too. I know sometimes I've gotten up, and it's not like a blame thing. I've received an award before or got something, and I was like, the first person I'm gonna thank is my wife. That's the first person I'm gonna thank. She been there for me the whole time. Then I get up there, and I completely forgot to thank my wife. I completely forgot to thank my wife, my teammate, the person that's with me. Like I get off from the podium and be like, hey babe, I'm sorry. I forgot to thank you. And I don't know if you saw that movie Malcolm and Maria or whatever, but that's pretty much what that was about.
I tell you one thing too, man, like not to say the captain, whatever, you know, did or whatever is good or bad, but I will say sometimes, man, you create an environment that's the expectation. I mean, the expectation is when I put your team on a job, I know it's going to get done. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's still, you know, not a reason to forget not to thank the team. But sometimes it gets like that, man. Like, hey, I know this guy gonna get it done. What do you expect? What I, you know, he expects
it's
that
like,
to happen.
It's standard business. Yeah. But don't forget, because that one that was a tough one. Yeah. That was a tough one for us. So that's one that I had. I was like, my question's like, was your feelings ever hurt? Like that was one that actually did kind of hurt because it was like, yo, the team, they really did put a lot of work in. It might not seem like it because not a lot of people showed up and it's an MWR event, but they really did put a lot of work in, and that it didn't kind of go off like that, but you know, it is what it is. So that one was tough, but you know, it's funny when you're doing MWR events, and you know, are you doing anything? And you know, it's something that like, cause you got your triad, right? So it's, you know, you got the CMC, your captain, your XO, whatever. It's funny when it's something that, you know, one of them want or two of them want, but like the other one don't kind of care about, you know, cause they be super supportive. Hey, it's whatever, you know, if the captain want to do it, we there, you know what I'm saying? But you know, at other events, especially XOs, like the XOs would be like, yeah, we could do this, and like kind of add to some stuff. I guess it's for the MWR people that listen, but the events that they like, it's like, hey, this ain't my event, like I'm good. They be like hands off, like, hey, you know, we just supporting the man. You know, I've come down talk to XOs before. They like, hey, what'd he say? What'd he say? He's like, hey, he said we gonna do this. All right, well, you know, let's go. It's nobody more loyal to me than the XO. Like the XO to me is the most loyal person on the shit, man.
And I love, you know what, man? I love the XOs, man. I'm telling you right now, man. Yeah. And personally, a reason why I love the XOs is because they are my like lead when it comes to my training I do. It's the XO, right? So I always got a lot of interaction with the XO, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. You are so right. I don't care, man. You could come up there and you could say whatever you want to say, but when you leave there, it's gonna be what the captain said.
Yeah.
What the CO? I mean, and you can have points too. You can have you can have a paper written down. You can have percentages. You can have whatever the hell you want. But when you go leave out there the same way you came in,
yeah, man.
Captain said do it like that. That's what's gonna happen. So, I mean, unless it's safety, and I'm not saying everything, but unless it's safety or anything like that involved, it's different. But
yeah. Not stuff, of course. Yeah, not stuff like that, of course, right? Yeah. But XOs, because I've had XOs. I had a strong XO on our ship, man. I've had XO walk me up to COs with some stuff before, like, hey, sir, this. We need you, and the XO will come up and walk us in there and be the best person at, explaining it. But just, I'm talking like the little small, like kind of stuff, like the little low hanging fruit stuff. The XO will be like, man, it's whatever, whatever he want to do, man. CMC, CMC would be the same way, man.
Hey, I got so many good stories though, man, from the XO, man. My interaction, man. Like, I remember one of my COs put out before that hey, you have to 20, like you said, it was 72 hours before we run a drill, this package had to be signed, right? Mm-hmm. That was his thing. 72 hours, right? Mm-hmm. 3 days. So I come in there to XO and it's already past like 48 hours, right? And I remember he told me one day, so he signs it, right? We talk about it. And his box was right before you walk out the door, so I know the YNs is gonna grab it out of the XO's box, take it to the CO, right? So on my way out, I drop it in his box. And, whoa. He told me to wait. You need to take that up there and route that to the CO because you say you remember CO says 72 hours. You're gonna take that up there to get that signed by the CO. I remember it's so funny though, man. Like, you ain't gonna drop that off in my box, buddy. Because I'm assuming they had these conversations. Like, they probably up there like, hey, I told DCC they had this in 72 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And look at this. Look at me signing this, man. So it's so funny. But it was funny how XO stopped me, man, because the conversation was over. We was done talking. He didn't sign the paperwork. And as I turned around, his box right there, man, I was like, whoop, put it. He said, no. He said, you need to walk that up there yourself, buddy. I said, all right, sir. It's funny, man.
Yeah, I feel like I've been fortunate. To have triads that I like understand. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, I understand what they're trying to do, what they thinking about. XOs, COs, CMCs. And then if I didn't understand it, I felt like I was fortunate enough to have triads, especially more recently on the last ships and stuff, as I got bigger and higher in rank, was to have CO XOs that's transparent and then like willing to explain things further. You know what I'm saying? Some of those things sometimes still take longer to understand for like some of the junior sellers and stuff, but willing to explain things. See, I'm kind of like a buy-in person anyway, so it's not gonna take much for me to buy into the thing just because that's how I am. But so they could explain thing like one extra sentence is like, oh yeah, I got it. Then another junior says, oh, I still don't understand. But I've had like the CO come down to CCS and sit with us and further explain some stuff or something like that. So I feel like I've been fortunate enough to have triads that were able to do that. I was able to understand, and like I said, when I say understand, I don't always mean agree, but understand. And if I understand you, then I'm able to go out and I'm able to rally the troops and, do what I have to do. If I disagree, but I'm still told that I had to go rally the troops, I'm rallying the troops. You know what I'm saying? That's just how that's just what we supposed to do. But I do like the fact that I could understand.
And that's a good thing, man. That's the good thing about it, though. With my past couple commands, man, is that you're right, the transparency. But this is the biggest takeaway that I take away from the transparent is being like, sailors always going to hear what they want to hear, right? That part of it. They never going to want to hear the full picture. But when you're transparent with your chain of command, I mean, now you actually, like, being a khaki, hopefully being a khaki, the bigger picture. Yeah. So you can be able to explain the bigger picture to your sailor, because the only thing your sailor's going to do is say, he said no. And the only thing they know is no. They don't know the reasons behind that no. the why behind the no. So that's a good thing. But I have also been not as a chief, and I have also been in commands back in the day where we just didn't get that info.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because and I think that's because the why in those years wasn't that important. I think a lot of CEOs, and I mean, it's good on them, and I commend them for understanding that these sellers and today they need a little bit more of an explanation. I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm of the group that like we need a little bit more of an explanation. Like we not just run into the fire, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm easier to buy in, you know what I'm saying? So even if I get the whole because I said so, I'm like cower, like, oh, okay. Okay, because you said so, let's go, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But an explanation does help because it helps you understand stuff, and it actually gives you real buy-in. Yeah, because you can't, you're right. You can't stand up in front of sailors no more and say, do this because I said do it. That time is over, man. That's over, especially when it comes for people following you, you know what I'm saying? Want to follow you. So yeah, man. Facts. Yeah, don't nobody want to hear that. No. But yeah, I don't even think we intended to talk about triads, but if you do have a team, don't forget your team. I've done it. It's been done to me. It doesn't feel good. So don't forget your team. So hey, random question, man. Did you ever lived in a PPV?
Military housing, right?
Yeah, but the PPV, it's military housing, but it's different, man. The PPV is a different world, man.
I want to say I have, but I'm not. So
you got the barracks, right? The barracks is like junior cellars. Like it's, you got the room not that nice. You might have a common area, a roommate. Stuff like that. Probably no oven, a microwave. You might have an oven. I don't know. They check they do inspections and make sure your room clean and all that stuff. That's the barracks. Housing is you got a family, you getting BAH, y'all, got a housing. PPV is at a higher elevated level than any of these things. It's like you're a junior seller. You know what I'm saying? You getting some partial kind of BAH to pay for like this apartment that you live in.
Nah,
and it's a whole nother world, man. You ever been to a PPV?
Nah.
Oh man, look, if you listening, I need somebody that lived in a PPV so we could talk about things that happen in a PPV. Yeah. The story that I told on a podcast a long time ago about being in cuffs and being turned over to my ship. That happened at a PPV, at one of the PPV parties, man. It's no party. I think the only thing equivalent to a PPV party would be like a Florida State party. Those PPV parties. So you figure you got all these junior sellers like E5 and below, more E4 and below than E5 and below, working all week. Some of them got in-serve coming up. Yeah. Some of them got 3M inspection. Some of them been underway all week. Woo. Right? They working all week.
Ready.
So they got Friday and Saturday to party, man. Woo. I mean, not Friday. Yeah, Friday night, Saturday night to party. Maybe even Sunday, because some people might want to get ready for the week.
Yeah.
Some people don't. So the PPVs, they start popping, man. Friday nights. And I might, right now, I know I might sound like an old creep, but I'm talking about back in the day. When I used to go to the PPV, when I used to live in the PPVs, because I had a room too. Everybody making queso. Everybody making a queso. They sell alcohol at the PPV. For the most part, if you live where I lived at in Virginia, we had the spread out like houses, and then they had the high rise. And the high rise was where the gym was at, where the alcohol and everything was at. And the high rise was where the parties happened, man. Like you could just leave your door open. There's been times like the door just was open. You could just walk in somebody's PPV party. I mean, and that's morale, man. That's shit base, man.
Shit base, right there.
One team, one fight, man. That's one team, one fight, man. The PPV life. I just thought about it because one of my sellers was like, hey, see, I live in a PPV. And my head just like inside, like not out on the side. I was like, PPV? Like, this is crazy. like I remember the PPV days because that took me back. PPV days were crazy. I know all my people from like day one, my ship that listen to this. Yo, we got some PPV stories, man. Look, I want to do an by the way, full of just PPV stories, David, so you can hear like what happens at the PPV, yo. If anybody wants to guess, or if everybody want to guess on one of our by the ways, let me know so we could just talk PPV lifestyle.
Most definitely, man. I love listening to those stories, man.
To the captains that's out there listening, man, if you got sailors at the PPVs, just know they having a good time on the weekend. Just know they having a good time on the weekend.
Might be a little slow on Monday. Might be a little slow work day on Monday. You know?
Don't forget to acknowledge them at the FWI event, because they definitely going to be taking shots to that shit on Saturday.
Man. Yeah.
You heard about these booster shots, these Pfizer
yeah,
booster
man.
shots?
I can't wait till they get out, man. I'm going to most definitely get me one, man. I heard about it. Oh, yeah. You know what, man? Hey, the stuff that's happening, man, if it's approved, I'm getting it, man. That's all I'm saying, man. If it's approved, I'm probably going to get it. And I know I haven't read up on, like, the directional, you have to be vaccinated this long before you take it, all this. I haven't did none of that stuff. But
like 6 months. I got it right here. Sorry. Bro.
Yeah, you can.
A COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine booster shot is available for people who completed their primary Pfizer vaccine series at least 6 months ago and meet at least one of the following criteria: 65 years and older, 18 years old or older who have underlying medical conditions, 18 years or older who live or work in high-risk setting. So pretty much high-risk setting, underlying medical conditions, and 65 and older. That's the only reason why you would be having to take it.
Yeah.
But my only thing is this, man. Like, I got the vaccine and stuff like that. I got the vaccine for my own, like, personal reasons. But like, how much more information and new developments, like, this my own thing. Yeah. Like, how much more information y'all gonna keep telling me that I gotta keep rolling with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we figuring this thing out, and I know we still figuring it out. But
that's the thing about it, though, man. I think we are still figuring it out, and just like these variants, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different variants and different shit. I think every time it's a new variant, they trying to figure something else out. But as people go on, man, we do actually, as scientists and stuff, they start figuring this thing out. So I think as time go by, it's gonna be some changes. That's my opinion. It's gonna be some changes, and we're gonna do some other things, because I think this was something that was brand new. No one knew that much about it, and now we starting to actually figure more stuff out about it. And I think that's why you see more stuff coming out. And I know people don't want to hear that. They think we should know all the answers tomorrow, but guess what? We don't know all the answers tomorrow. It takes time to figure all these medical things out. But I think everybody doing a good job. The scientists and stuff is doing a good job on trying to figure it out. And that's why I put my hands at, man. I put myself with the scientists, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't go up there and talk intelligent about the Pfizer. It's people who are smarter than me that is doing the job to talk intelligent about that. And it's people that's really intelligent to approve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On that side of the world, it's not me. So, I mean, I did not to say I heard some of the shots been killed people and all this type of stuff too. That's a choice, man. That I guess a chance or whatever you have to take. I don't know, man, but
yeah, I think my personal thought is eventually, like, y'all not gonna just keep throwing me new information. Like, I get it, we figuring it out.
Yeah.
But like, figure some stuff out, man. Like, don't just keep throwing me new things that now, okay, oh, hey, now you gotta take a booster. Oh yeah, now you need to take a booster. Like, all right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but we take boosters for a freaking flu all day, every year.
Yeah, you take boosters for flu every year.
Every year.
Yeah, I'm not like, I'm the kind of person that I know it's not in sync. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like it is.
Yeah.
But as far as I do. I don't got no issue taking a flu shot every year. But this like every 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, all right, oh no, matter of fact, every 3 months. Like, yo, how come? Like, when you gave me this, John, when you gave it to me, sorry, the Philly came out of me for a second. But when you gave this to me, how come you ain't tell me I was gonna have to take it every 6 months then? Because you didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't know.
They didn't know it was gonna be a Delta variant either.
Yeah, but we not taking a booster because of the Delta variant. We just taking a booster because we gotta take it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is though we don't know.
It ain't even because the Delta variant.
True. But I'm just saying though, it's things we don't know. It's some unknowns, man. It's some unknowns.
Yeah, like what if it's not even a different variant? What if it's a whole different virus? But now we just gonna name every virus COVID. Like now we just gonna name everything COVID. I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds with COVID because it's gonna be crazy. I'm vaccinated. I don't like COVID. I also don't like masks, but I wear my mask every time that I have to because I'm following rules. Yeah, right.
I'm vaccinated.
That's
also,
my opinion on it.
And I caught COVID, so yeah, I was sick as fuck too.
Yeah, you actually had it.
Yeah,
you actually had it, man. It went down.
Yeah, it went down, man, a little bit. Lost a little weight. I made it though.
Hey, so Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller got an update on him, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with him, Dame?
Well, man, he locked up now, ain't he? Yeah. So I guess they put a gag order on him or something, man. And he came out and did another little thing, man. And they got him, man. That's. I didn't see what he put out though. I didn't look at that, but I heard that's what I read anyway. He put something out when they put a gag.
Yeah, he made another video. In it, I started watching it. It was a little different. I wanted to talk about it on a podcast, but we had a guest or something. But the video was a little different than before. I think he was speaking out about like things he could have done better as far as the first videos and stuff like that. Yeah. But I don't, like I said, I ain't see it all. But again, first off, this is for him. This is what he did, and him deciding to speak out came from like a personal place, right? Yeah. And it also, when we talked the last time, we talked a lot about, him disagreeing with the decisions, and we ain't really speak on the fact that his biggest issue was that people died. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the big reasons why he spoke out, because people died, and he didn't personally agree that these people should have had to die. Yeah. But so he was still putting stuff out. He violated the gag order, so now he's on the brig, and he's in the brig right now as it stands. He's in the brig for indefinitely until the case. Yeah. Right, until the actual investigation or the case happens, until trial or whatever like that. So that could be 3 months. From what I read, that could be 3 months. That could be a year. It's people working to get him out. I think he raised like a lot of like support from. He raised more than 1.82 million from supporters of Donald Trump.
Oh yeah. But let me tell you. I will say this though, man. It take a lot of courage to do what he did, because he knows his rank. I think he was in 17 years. He knows the consequences of what he was doing. He knows something was going to happen about this. When you go against leadership in any type of way, it's possibly that something can happen to him. So I think he was mentally prepared for whatever. He had to be mentally prepared for whatever was going to happen to him. So, but when you stand by for whatever you stand by, whatever you believe in, and you speak out on it, I have to give you courage. I have to give you some love for that, because something could happen, man. But you spoke out anyway. So you gotta give people, like that some love, man.
That's that moral courage that they teach about in enlisted leader development class, about just standing by your morals. Yeah. But I do want to get into his response to the 1.82 million from the Trump supporters that they raised. He said, President Trump, I was told by everyone to kiss the ring because of your following and power. I refuse. While I respect your foreign policy positions, I hate how you divided the country. I don't need or want your help. Mr. Scheller wrote on Facebook on the weekend. So he doesn't want the help from the Trump supporters. Yeah. I just want to note that he said he's trying to distance himself as far away from that. He would rather sit in jail than receive help from the former president. Yeah. So Joe Marine Stuart Scheller has demanded the Trumps stop helping in his case, saying he would rather sit in jail than receive help from the former president. So that's the status of Lieutenant Colonel Scheller Right now, he's in the brig. It's like pretrial confinement, so it's pretty much indefinite.
Yeah.
But his family and there's a lot of people working to get him,
Gotta get him out.
to get him out,
Support
saying
him.
that he,
Yeah.
being supportive of him. His parents seemed like he got some good parents as well. So they supported him, saying that he shouldn't be in there, and it was personal, saying that the unit that like the 13 military members in a unit that was killed were in the same unit that he was in at some point in time as well. So it was like a super personal thing for him. And that was something that I didn't even know when I first started listening to the story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's pretty much all I have on Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah, man. It's a good story, though, man. I'm sure it's going to be more to follow from this story. But I know I'm gonna be following it. You know what I mean? I love to see, what's going to happen in the details and the thought process and all this stuff about him, man. So it's a good story, man. Good story to follow anyway. I'm also looking forward to seeing the response from the Trump, organization about what he said. So
yeah, I don't know if they're gonna actually respond to it though.
Probably not. Yeah, man. So I did have one. I had a question from the from my guys at work, man. So a lot of my guys at work, if you guys don't already know, they watch the podcast and talk about it. And we come in the office, we have some little debates. So one thing about what was brought up to me and wanted me to talk about, we're not going to debate this today or anything like that. But I'd like to get some feedback from the listeners to see, should we debate this or should we talk about it? And it's the DLPO, the Departmental Leading Petty Officer, right? What I like to know is it a thing, or do I know my ships that I've been on before? I had one where the departmental LPO was still in the division, and then I had it where the departmental LPO was working for whoever the top snipe was, because I'm an engineer, so whoever that was. But either way, I want to know if it's a thing or it's something we should get rid of. Do they really have a voice? You know what I mean? Or, I guess that's the biggest thing we was talking about, man. Like, how do you justify the departmental LPO? Do you have to be senior? Do we have to be, what makes you a departmental LPO?
I mean, I guess if you make the decision, it's going to be the senior person.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's a lot of things depends on it. I'm assuming, man, but I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna stay away from the LPO thing, man. We're talking about DLPOs, man.
I guess for me, the only thing to add to that question for the DLPOs is, if you were a DLPO, what's some of the things that you did in that role?
Yeah.
So if you were a DLPO, when you answer that question that Damon asked, just respond and what's some of the things that you've done in that role. And if you was a department LCPO, what are the expectations that you have on the departmental LPO? And I think another question is it a way that a first class in the department can be ranked over the departmental LPO? Have we ever seen that? Why would that happen? If it's a thing. Now, some of these things I've seen everything and got answers for everything, but we're not going to talk about it. We just asking the question.
Yeah.
So is it possible for a first class to rank over a DLPO? If you were a DLPO, what's some of the things that you've done? If you are or were a DLCPO, what's the expectations that you have on or had on your DLPOs? So is DLPO a thing?
Yep.
Right, that's the question?
Yep, that's the question.
Hey, so I was talking to my sister, who I went through the chief season with, and we had a really quick but good conversation because I did talk about something we did as selects during our season. So I just was catching up with her, and she told me she was getting out for a little bit. Well, first she said she was getting out. She getting ready to get out. I'm like, you getting out? Because I like, she got to be a lifer, So she said she getting out for a little bit for the career Intermission program. So I just want to talk about it for a second, just in case sailors don't know what it is. So the Career Intermission Program allows officers and enlisted sailors the ability to transfer out of the active component and into the individual ready reserve for up to 3 years while retaining full healthcare coverage and base privileges. Right, so that's what it is. Couple things. I'm not going to read all this stuff that I'm looking at, but a couple things is you got to submit an application package to PERS 9. If you need any information about it, go to my Navy HR. But I'll have the information, and we'll have the information in the episode notes. You gotta apply like 12 months in advance to your projected rotation date, your soft EAOS. You leave active duty, you're electronically mustered for accountability purposes during your time on the program. And then when you get back to active duty, your date of rank or time and rate is going to adjust to compete in promotion boards with service members at the same experience level, right? So that means like if you did, I'm assuming that means if you did 10 years and then you do CIP for 3, your date and rank and time of service is going to equal like that of a 10-year experience petty officer or whatever rank you are. You retain your full medical and dental benefits for yourself and your dependents, as well as next benefits. You also receive a stipend equal to 2 times 1/30 of your base pay. No requirement to be at the end of EAOS to take parts. Obli serve is required. So you serve 2 months active duty for every month IRR, in addition to any and all remaining and future active duty obligations. So that means if you get out for a year, you do 2. You get out for 2 years, you come back, you owe 4. You get out for 3 years, you owe 6. Right? So that's what that means.
Yeah.
Service members are eligible to use their GI Bill while participating in the program, provided GI Bill requirements are met, but not for tuition assistance. So that's some of the things. And then it's also some stuff in here for officers. In zone and above zone eligible officers and grades of lieutenant, lieutenant commander, commander whose placement on the active duty list is within 1 year of the convening dates of these boards are automatically deferred unless they specifically request to be considered. Right? Officers who would be eligible for consideration by a promotion board as an in zone or above zone eligible within 1 year of placement on the ADL shall be informed that their eligibility for such consideration will be deferred unless they specifically request consideration. So that's some of the stuff for officers. So it is a chance to take an intermission in your career, take a couple years off, whatever you want to do, whether it's school or, you working a business or you something like that. And you take a couple years off, do what you got to do, then come back. But just remember, when you come back, you owe time.
Double up, double up, double up. I think it's a win-win, man. I think it's a great opportunity for sailors that has that ambitions to go to school, have ambitions to take care of the things that they want to do, and come back in. But I, like you said, the biggest takeaway is the fact that you are coming back in, right? Yeah. But some people already know they're gonna be in the Navy for a while, but it's some stuff they want to take care of. Especially if I was a dad, you know what I mean? Why not take a year off, in the beginning to help, wifey out or whatever with the baby, whatever the case may be. Same things for the ladies. They want to take, some time off to be with the kid, or you want to go to school, you want to do. Man, I think this is a win-win. I think us bringing this on the podcast people are going to look at this more now, because I think we should be talking about this at quarters, and hopefully we are, because I think this is one of those things where sometimes you can get burnt out. Say you burnt out, you did 6 straight years of C, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or you did whatever the case. You want to take 2 years off, you know what I mean? Come back in and do 4, whatever your situation is. I think this is a win-win.
And 2 years ain't, and a year or 2 is not much, because you could be at like year 15 and not know that you're going to do 26 years in the Navy already. You know what I'm saying? So a year or 2, not much. There's a lot of people going over 20 that probably didn't know they were going to go over 20. So if you take that year off, I know some people thinking like, man, I don't want to take 2 years off and then I owe 4. I mean, I got to do 4 and all of that. Like, you might be doing that for anyway. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't. Not everybody get out at 20. So if you could take the time to, you know, take a year off and just, you know, live your life and take care of yourself and your family and do some stuff like that, that would be good. Yeah. You know, maybe you saved up enough money, you want to go on like a backpacking trip, or you want to go on a road trip or something like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff would be good. We didn't talk about National Suicide Prevention Week, September 5th through September 11th. So September 5th through September 11th was a National Suicide Prevention Week. And it's crazy because in that time, I actually personally had, not me, but members and extremely close to me had suicidal ideations, too. So 2 people very close to me had suicidal ideations. And both of them were directly directed to the right people and stuff like that. You know, me personally, I'm not always good with the words. You know, I'm not always good with having the words to say because of the way I think it's analytical is always, you know, so I'm not always good with the words about suicide. And I know that about myself. So I you know, I might not be able to talk to somebody in that moment, but I know that I'm able to point them in a direct direction of where to go.
Yeah, you most definitely not the only one in there, man. That's conversations like that, man, are hard conversations when people are talking about that. So I'm the same way. I'm not a big talker, but you have to know how to get people help. That's the biggest thing, man. You got to know where to point them at and what they need to do and all that type of stuff, man. And I'm quick to tell anybody that somebody come to me, if they say the wrong, if I overhear, you know, I can overhear. You know what I mean? I don't care what it is. If I overhear the wrong thing, we finna go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. Point them in the right direction, man. Get them help. And I don't care if it's you losing a sailor or you losing somebody from your division. I don't care, man, because, you know, I'm going to sleep better at night for going to get somebody some help, though.
Yeah, we talk a lot. We shared the phone number for the suicide hotline a couple episodes ago. But it's, you know, 800-273-8255, right? That's the phone number. But we talk a lot about empathy and stuff like that a lot now more in the Navy than we ever did before. Yeah. And I have it, again, but like I said, just with my personality and stuff, it's probably not visual if I'm talking to somebody. But I do have empathy, but I'm not good at, you know, being able to say, it's just the way my mind works. You know, I might say, to me, I think I might say something that's not fitting for the moment, you know, and it doesn't mean I don't empathize. It's just, I'm just this dumb guy, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know what to say out my mouth at the moment. So I try my best to be quiet, to just be quiet and observe. I remember sellers coming into an issue, man, that just needed to cry, you know? And I mean, just come in here, sit down and cry. I'm not going to say nothing to you. Just come in here, sit down, do your thing. Cry, take whatever time you need to take off, vent, or whatever like that. Because the first question I ask would be something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I try my best not to do that. I know you said you had something you wanted to talk about, the NAVADMIN for tuition assistance, huh? Oh yeah, man. That's a big deal for me, man. I read that it's like split kind of people. A lot of people don't like it, like the changes. Well, first off, the NAVADMIN, what I like about it, you know what I mean? Because I take the T. That's all I use is TA, right, for my classes. Mm-hmm. So now I can take more classes, right? So that's my benefit from it. Now, everybody else may have some different stuff or whatever. I didn't get into the details of the whole thing because I got the email I got from it. It was already broken down from our ESO, right? Already broke down, so I didn't get to read the whole NAVADMIN. So it's probably some stuff in there that somebody may not like. The only part that hit me was 18. You know, the credit hours, right? So that was a big thing. I think that came from 12. I think we was doing 12. Now it's 18. So that was pretty big deal for me, because what happened is I take a couple of classes. I'm taking it for my master's, so I take a couple of classes that I have to wait, you know what I mean, until the next fiscal year damn near, which is now. Yeah.
So yeah, man, that was my big takeaway from the whole NAVADMIN.
So you saying you ain't read the rest of it?
No, I just read the closing statements. Help me.
So you wasn't thinking like maybe you'd be talking about it on your podcast?
I did. Yeah, I talked about it right when I'm talking about 18 credits. Shit.
Oh man! So it's say at least 3 years of time of service before applying for benefits, right?
Yeah.
At least 3 years. Be on active duty for the whole length of the course. Attend accredited school. Get counseling. Provide your grades. Active duty enlisted with under 16 years of service and reservists on active duty orders must have 12 months or more remaining on the current enlistment or extension as of the course start date, right? Then an officer must agree to remain on active duty as well. I think the thing is they pushed out the time.
Time. Yeah.
Like you got to wait longer.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see, I can see that. People get in the military, they want to go. But now, man, it's more starting now to have people actually try to learn a job before they start doing a lot of stuff. So I think that's what we're moving towards. Same thing with the ESWAS program now. And
I heard a rumor that FSAs was going to get taken.
That's been a rumor for a long time, though. The numbers supposed to have changed and go down and stuff like that, but I don't think it'll never happen, man. I don't think you can have enough CSs in the Navy to take away FSAs. Now, would they take some of the numbers? Maybe they can. But if they take some of the numbers, man, I think some things in that organization has to change too, though.
I mean, I want to limit the FSA conversation until we get to see us on the podcast.
Yeah, to
talk about, because it's some things I agree with and some things I disagree with.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, hey, dude, please bring us. We need a CS bad on here talking about this.
Yeah. But on the side of just the division side, I understand every leader or junior seller in the division that's like, hey, I got a brand new seller that I need to be teaching them their job. And then I've started. They start working on quals. They start doing this, and then boom, 4 months, 6 months, however many months it take, they got to lead the division for X amount of time to be a FSA. Yeah. And that, for a lot of sellers, probably more sellers than the other group, that doesn't have a positive impact on their progression and rate. I've seen sellers promise that they're going to still work quals and do shit, and then when they go FSA, they stop. Yeah. And they do other stuff. And I mean, it's voluntary to still do, get your quals and stuff while you FSA. You could definitely just go do your FSA thing. But a lot of sellers, chief, even when I'm FSA, I'm going to still work my quals, and then then they don't. But I
don't hold it against them, though. I don't hold it against them. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's voluntary. You do what you want. But we need to see us on here that could talk about.
But you know what? We're gonna talk about it later. But I do want to throw one thing out there, man, and this is for just a whole command thing. When you're talking about from a command environment, it is an FSA instruction, right? Yeah. And in that instruction, it may say sailor had to be on board 6 months before he can go FSA. Whatever the case will be. Whatever that time frame is, we never follow it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. We never follow it, right? So, yeah. But we'll put that in the shelf, on the top of the shelf for now, though, until we get a CS.
Table it till we get a cook. We need a CS, preferably one we never served with before. So if you're listening and you know a CS or you are a CS, either email us, ptsfpodcast@gmail.com, or get in contact with the CS. Let them know to email us so we could have a conversation about FSAs and other stuff too. Just a whole bunch of other stuff. Most definitely. All right, my book. So the book I want to talk about this week is called Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace, right? So I read the other book, the 2034 book, right? The 2034 book that I said was a really good read about the Third World War. So what that did for me was make me want to read another book about a world war. So I went with the Second World War. And so it says, Countdown 1945, the extraordinary story of the atomic bomb and 116 days that changed the world. So this book starts out like 116. It's a literal countdown, right? And that's what Chris Wallace does. He writes these history books, and they read like fiction. But it's a literal countdown from like 116 days out to hours to the moments that, you know, they dropped the atomic bombs. The focus is on the Hiroshima bomb because the Nagasaki bomb went off like 2 miles like away from the target that it was intended to hit. So and it was more of a disaster here. So after then that was called Big Boy. So the focus is on Little Boy, the one that hit Hiroshima. And I mean, when you talking about the way you should write a book about history, I think this guy Chris Wallace has it down. He speaks about the scientific aspect of the bomb. He speaks about the scientists that were involved. He talks about the pilots. He talks about the president a whole lot. The book kind of starts when FDR died and Truman took the seat. The moment that Truman found out FDR died, somebody whispered in his ear, like, hey, I got to talk to you about like this secret thing that we've been working. So FDR kind of wrote, he kind of signed off on the atomic bomb, but Truman was in the seat for like 4 months and then they had to drop it or whatever. So it just was a really good book from every aspect. You had a Japanese woman now, but she was a girl in a story. Her character, she was in Hiroshima the day that the atomic bomb dropped. Her character, and then after the bomb and after that part of the story, it went to like the epilogue and stuff was about like present day, and just like that people are divided about the humanity aspect of dropping it. It talked about what Truman was thinking about every time is like something he didn't want to do, but he felt like he had to. They felt like the war was going to last a lot longer and cost a whole lot more money if we would have just went, you know, the traditional way. Einstein is talked about in the book. Hitler is talked about in the book. Almost every impactful person in history, and I'm mad because I'm forgetting some names. It was a meeting that was going on during the planning of this bomb, a meeting about the war with Britain and U.S. was there, and it was just so much going on. To talk about what was going to happen with Russia after Hitler, what with Germany after Hitler. Russia wasn't involved in the story. It was just so much going on, and it was a really good book, man. Real good book. Eisenhower came up a couple times. He was secretary somewhere. Just so many different characters, but just to be able to break down from the scientist aspect to the actual pilots to the actual president to everybody that was involved in this story was a good book, and I give it 5 stars. It's a 5-star book, man.
Wow,
yeah, it's a 5-star. Yeah,
wow,
it's definitely a 5-star book, man. It don't get no better than that.
Nah.
And I mean, it's weird because you
don't give 5 stars for books, so really,
I don't. And then I'm not like, it's just to be like, yo, I'm reading a book about the atomic bomb, and like that's not a normal read for me. But it was a good book though, 5 stars, man. Good stuff. 1945, Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace.
Man, when you said Chris Wallace the first time, man, first thing I'm thinking, Chris Wallace.
Oh, Biggie?
Biggie, man.
Notorious B.I.G.
Until you said war, I thought you was talking about Biggie, man, for a
minute. Yeah, definitely a good book. It's definitely like a must read. What else we got, man?
Well, man, we down to the last thing, man. That movie, man.
I know people don't like the what else we got, but we know what we got. We got the movie.
Yeah, man. We got a movie.
We got the movie.
We most definitely got a movie, man. This was your movie, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and kick it off, man. It was your. It was your movie. Well, actually, it wasn't your movie. You're right. It was somebody.
It wasn't my movie. A listener suggested it, and please, listeners, continue to suggest movies. The only thing I ask is that they're not over 2.5 hours. Because Miracle at Saint, so the movie we have the review today is Miracle at St. Anna, and I forgot how long it was. It's a 2 hour and 40 minute movie.
Yes.
Super long, right? Super long. It's a Spike Lee joint.
Yeah.
Spike, and it was a direct answer to Clint Eastwood. So Clint Eastwood had did Flags of Our Fathers, and there's some of the movie stuff that I think people might have forgot about. But if you're a big movie person, you know. Clint Eastwood had did Flags of Our Fathers, and Spike Lee was like, "Yo, it was African Americans in that war. It was black people in that war. It wasn't no black people in the movie." That was the whole back and forth for a little bit. So Miracle at St. Anna was actually his direct answer to, like Clint Eastwood having like a movie without black people. Is all right, let me make a war movie and put black men in this movie because black men fought this war. And did some good stuff in the war. So it was about the 21st Regiment Buffalo Soldiers or 13th, some regiment, like the 13th Regiment Buffalo Soldiers, and they got stuck between like behind enemy lines, and they pretty much were it's a behind enemy lines film. Then it's like 4 different movies in one, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Like 4 different movies in one, super long. It was a good movie. A lot of good script reading. That's what I would say. Like a lot of good script reading. Spike Lee is a good script writer as far as natural. And I'm gonna get a little movie geekish right here, but Spike Lee is a really good script writer when it comes to natural dialogue. Right. So when it comes to natural vernacular, natural dialogue, him and Quentin Tarantino to me are among some of the best. Like where it's not as poetic as another script writer might be, but in it being so natural, it's even more poetic. Right. So Derek Luke, like I feel like I was with him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he was just a regular dude that, I knew. The movie opens up the same way that Spike Lee kind of intended a movie was on. I think one of them John Wayne war movies was on or something like that, and it wasn't no black people in that movie. So the dude was like, we were there too, and that was the significance of why Spike Lee decided, to make that movie. Every popular black actor that women loved at that time that movie was made was in the movie, right?
Yeah, and no bullshit, man. When it came to first off. Let me say this. What happened to me in the beginning of trying to watch it. And I didn't finish. I'm going to tell you straight up. I didn't finish it. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Come on, man. I can't finish it. But
yeah,
what happened to me is, so I was trying to find where I was going to watch the movie at, right? So everywhere I went to watch the movie, it was $3.99 to watch the movie, right?
Yeah, I paid $3.99.
Yeah, I paid $3.99 to watch the movie, right? So the movie came on, and it came on in the beginning right where they would start the war. Right?
Oh,
so it skipped I went back and seen it, the beginning of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in my mind, I'm saying, this cannot be the start of the movie. They ain't talked about nobody, and they ain't talked about nothing. They just went straight to that part. But I watched it a little bit, maybe like 30 minutes of it or whatever, to that point. And the first thing I was thinking, man, this movie probably got everybody, Tyler Perry, and every Tyler Perry movie in this movie, right? That's the first thing I thought about.
Yeah.
Everybody
Sure.
is in this show from the Tyler Perry, from his movie, man. I was watching him like, dang, man, it's everybody in this movie, man. But like you said, man, it plays a. I didn't know that part about Spike Lee and Clint Eastwood, man. But
yeah.
But you could tell. Now, as you said that, I can tell the response on things that was happening in the movie. You could tell because race was a big part of the movie too, when it was going on.
Yeah, it was like more of a statement than a movie, right? I mean, for me, it felt like more of a statement than a linear movie. It was like, yo, this is black people at war.
Yeah,
I felt more of that than a linear kind of movie. Based.
Yeah, and just a couple things, man. I had like when I was watching it. In the scenes that was like kind of throwing me off a little bit in war. And just for the movie side. And I know Spike Lee and what he was doing and what he was trying to create. But a couple of things I was like laughing at, right? One was the Tyler Perry movie stuff, because I said all these actors in Tyler Perry movie. The other was how they was having this good ass conversation during the war. Like they having actually
Spike
conversation.
Lee.
doing it as they walking through there, they having like full conversations, right?
Hey, and the start, like right there, that point, that's what I mean about like any young filmmaker or whatever you do. Most people in the Navy, but if you are, that's what Spike Lee and Quentin Tarantino does. If you think about it and you watch their movies, they add like these really natural, good conversations that people would probably really have.
Yeah.
In their movies, and then they base the action around that they weave the kind of action into the script, the conversation and shit like that. So I do like that Spike Lee is able to do that.
That was good. Then how about that, man? Now, how about that fresh loogie old boy putting his water, man? I thought about that too, man. Like in the movie, like, but old boy was on some bullshit.
They watched him drinking.
Yeah, man. They watched him drinking. That was kind of crazy. But then he, like, the guy that played the guy who wouldn't go in and help them, man. That was crazy, man. Like he just like deliberately didn't care about their lives at all in this movie. Like I guess that could have been a point we was making, or did that happen? I'm about to do my own little research on that, man, because he deliberately let them die. That's how the movie, went anyway. Like he deliberately let a lot of those guys die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my dude from Justified too, man. I forgot his name right now, but he's my dude from Justified.
Yeah, man. And then another thing, man, like if I'm in a movie and I got all these bad guys out there, man, there was a point in the movie where this little boy, man, that they end up helping out or whatever, but he was under a haystack, man, and his haystack was moving. I'm firing, man. I don't know what's in that haystack, man. Haystack is moving because there's a person in it or whatever. But I'm thinking, man, like, why am I going to go investigate that haystack moving, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm firing on that haystack, man.
Yeah, we're going to shoot first and then see what was moving.
Especially the environment they was in.
Shoot first. Yeah.
But for the part of the movie I watched, man, I kind of like watching movies like that too, though. That's why I'm gonna probably give it a higher score, because I like those type of movies where it has to do with history and race stuff and where you come from and what people, however, because people get these stories, a lot of times these stories come from facts a lot of the times, man. You know what I mean? So you wanna like vision on how they could be feeling right now and all this type of stuff. And then that's what I think what Spike Lee won me over with that. Like these people know crap. It was like they was in that moment. You know what I mean? Like those, like even them arguing amongst each other. You know what I mean? Your old boy with the gold teeth in his mouth, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? They argued. You know what I mean? Arguing amongst each other, man. It was real good stuff they was doing, man. So, I'm gonna give it close to a 4, man. I want to but because I actually want to finish it too, though. You know what I mean? Because I didn't finish the whole thing. I kind of want to finish it.
It's long,
but it's long, man. Like, good gracious, man. It's long. But
I think the white slop scene is the one that transcended the movie when they went to get. I'm assuming it was like ice cream or something. But when they went, did you get to that scene?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, that was
the big one that kind of transcended the movie, because these guys like are military members fighting for the country. And they still had to deal with the same, racism that anybody else would have to deal with. And they
spoke up about it too, though. You know what I mean? So
they did a little
more than that, but they spoke up about it.
The guy you talked about earlier that didn't help them, the captain. His name is just because I like the actor so much. His name is Walton Goggins. I like him a lot, but I'm scrolling through this actors list, man, and I'm gonna scroll off a couple names. I'm gonna read off a couple names. Derek Luke was in the movie, right? Derek Luke, we love him, right? Michael Ealy, all the ladies love Michael Ealy, right? Yeah. Laz Alonso, ladies love Laz Alonso. If you don't know who Laz Alonso is, he's in The Boys. He plays in that show The Boys now. John Turturro was in it. Another Italian, I always like him. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, one of my favorite actors, actually was in it. John Leguizamo was in it. Kerry Washington, Amari Hardwick, Ghost. It's just so many.
And he played a good part in the movie too, man. He played a pretty
Ghost. Michael K. Williams, rest in peace, who just recently passed away. Omar from The Wire. Yeah. He was the scared soldier. He was the guy that was scared
in the beginning.
Yeah, so it's so many. It was so many. I could keep going down the list. So many actors in there. Spike Lee movie, of course, if he make the call. you gonna show up. You said you gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. And that's me not even finishing it either, though. So I like where it was going, though. I like the story.
Yeah.
You're right, though. It had a lot of storylines in it, though. But I like the movie.
Yeah. I got 2 different kind of thoughts. When I first saw this as a kid in like 2008 when it came out, it was probably, one of the best movies that I thought I saw around that time, 2008. Young guy. Now I'm sitting with you around like a 3.8. Yeah. 3.8, close to 4 out of 5. It's a good movie. I think if also it was written, the screenplay was written by James McBride, who also wrote the book that the movie's based off. But I think that Spike Lee could have made an even better. It's a good movie. I think Spike Lee could have made an even better movie if he kind of wasn't as focused on making so much of the statement that he wanted to make, and just wanted to make a movie. It probably would have been about 40 minutes shorter, and a couple other things. But it was a good movie. Definitely a good statement from Spike Lee. We definitely do, need to see more, black men in these movies, and black characters that actually, existed. That's why I was happy that we talked about Doris Miller earlier. He had a whole lot to do with just making history. And then, just going into World War II, the book that I reviewed, that connects us to Doris Miller. Yep. And then this movie connects all of that stuff because we talk about some black soldiers. They were Buffalo soldiers, but a lot of good stuff from them. So I give it like like I said, like a 3.8 out of 5. Definitely a good movie. Yeah. You should watch it, but kind of
be prepared. Prepare yourself.
Be prepared.
Get your popcorn ready, man. Popcorn ready.
Set your time. Set your time. It's like a PTSF podcast, man. It's a long
process.
ride.
You better do it in layers, man. Do it in layers.
And we want y'all to listen to us in layers. I don't want you to sit with us for 2.5 hours. If you do, you do. I mean, I love it. Like, that's even better. Yeah. But on a ride to work, you get in, you hear a couple ideas, you get to work, you go home, you hear a couple more ideas, you get to work. I'm not asking you to sit with us for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I would love that, though. I mean, the whole session. Like, hey, I'm gonna stop everything I'm doing and listen to the podcast.
Yeah, and then do that other thing that we like you guys to do too. Share. You know what I mean?
Share.
Make sure we share it, man. Make sure you guys listening, man. Keep it up. Keep it going. Man, we love you guys, man. We love getting on here talking about stuff, man. And we have fun doing it. You hear us. We always laugh and we always, bullshitting, coming up with some stories and all that type of stuff, man. We doing this right now because we like doing it. And we're also doing it to put information out, and learn, man. We learn from each other. We learn from everybody else. So, man, we looking for people to come on. People want to talk. People want to voice anything. Hit us up, man. We want to talk too.
If you listening on Apple Podcasts, drop a review for us. It's been a while since we got any new reviews, so drop a review. Let us and let some other potential listeners that might just be waiting to see what somebody else got to say about the podcast, read it and see what's being said. Drop a review. It's all about that interaction. That's it for me. Good podcast. I see you guys next week. I'm Damo.
I'm Damon. Hey, Mississippi stand up. Ole Miss, go. Let's get it.